Hello, this is Clint Locklear from the Farmer's Grove, and I am sitting in my front yard where we've got stuff that's finally coming on there pretty good. And you know, this is springtime where you get everything looking as sharp as you want it to be. And what we're looking at is a foolproof permaculture, grow anywhere, the most beautiful, biggest tomatoes you've ever seen. Now, what you see in the hole, this hole is about, it's 2 foot deep, 18 inches, 2 foot deep. I just dig it straight down. I'm not tilling, I'm not doing anything else. I'm just digging a hole where the tomato's going. I put a big old slop of a shovel full of duck manure that comes out of the bottom of our duck pond. I keep all the eggs that are in the pond, and those are 2 duck eggs per hole, and a fish. Now the fish I didn't catch, but a buddy of a buddy's son caught some and didn't pay attention to the ice, and they're questionable on eating. So he was like, does anybody want them? And I took them just for this purpose. I use a lot of catfish heads and stuff like that where I go fishing. Now, this looks just like this row over here. Not very sexy, not very pretty. When I show y'all this again here in about a month, all this ugliness through here is going to look like anything that you're going to see out of anybody's garden. Everybody oohs and ahs about it, except I spend very little time, very little energy doing it. The biggest key is I want nutrients for the tomato. Now, when the roots hit the duck poop, which could be horse poop, cow poop, aged chicken poop, whatever, it's going to get the short-term nutrition it gets. Later on in the season, it's going to have the calcium from the eggs, and then when it's putting on fruit, all the bacteria in the soil is going to be breaking down that fish. There's going to be a tremendous amount of nitrogen release and a lot of different minerals, calcium from the bones and the scales, and you're going to see a tomato that absolutely explodes when it needs to explode. Not right now when it's little, but when it's old and putting on fruit, and that's what you're looking for. So this is about as foolproof way of growing a tomato as you can imagine. Now, around this, I've just kept all of the clover that was growing here. I stomped it kind of down. I've dug the holes. Every one of these tomatoes that you're looking at is done this way. Here's a good example here. Now I've got that in a hole that's about 6 inches deep. When that tomato gets about another foot on it, I'm going to rake in some compost or aged manure or mushroom compost or something like that to fill that hole in level. That'll give me even more roots, and it'll just make more of a stable plant. And then in between these, I'm going to put down some cardboard, kick some hay over it, call it good. That's all you've got to do to have awesome, awesome tomatoes. And luckily, being a permaculturist, I've got the ducks. I go fishing, so that's part of my overall system. I've got friends that fish. If I did aquaculture, aquaponics or anything like that used fish, then you would have all of this readily at your available. If you don't have duck eggs, you could use old chicken's eggs if something happens to them. If you don't have birds and you don't want to use good eggs, which I totally understand, crush up 5 or 6 of the eggs so you get all the calcium and stuff in there. The only thing I'm going to do to what looks like a mess right now later, after I put the hay on it, is once I start seeing a little bit of fruit showing up, I'm going to put some magnesium in the form of Epsom salt around each plant, because that is something in our soils around here we're desperately lacking, and it gives the tomatoes the boost they want. So there you go, awesome tomatoes, no tillers, no massive amount of work whatsoever, but you will be amazed at what these things do.